Far out in the Atlantic Ocean, on a small island called Madeira, there exists a story that forever changed the way the world thinks about football. The island, with its beauty and quiet streets, is home to one of the greatest athletes the world has ever known, Cristiano Ronaldo. But before Cristiano Ronaldo became a global phenomenon, before the Golden Boots, the Ballon d'Ors, and the packed stadiums, there was only a young boy, born in the most humble of circumstances, with nothing but a dream. One of the greatest of all time in the history of athletes, Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro was born on February 5, 1985, in the district of Santo Antonio in Funchal, the capital of Madeira. He grew up in a small neighborhood where everyone knew each other, but opportunities were scarce. His family, like many others on the island, was not wealthy. Ronaldo's father, José Diniz Aveiro, worked as a gardener, while his mother, Dolores, took on multiple jobs to make ends meet. Despite all the challenges, there was one thing that Ronaldo's family had in abundance, which is love. His mother recalls that even as a child, Cristiano's will to succeed shone through in everything he did. Whether it was playing football on the streets with his friends or spending hours playing alone with a ball, his commitment was evident. But what really set him apart wasn't just his talent, it was his relentless drive, a fire that would one day propel him to the very top. Even though life wasn't always easy for Cristiano Ronaldo, the tough conditions in Madeira, where resources were limited, often made it feel like the odds were stacked against him. The family lived in a cramped, modest home, with no luxuries to speak of. Yet, Cristiano Ronaldo never saw this as an obstacle. In fact, he embraced these challenges, believing they were the very things that would make him stronger. As of then, his first love was, of course, football. Ronaldo would spend hours watching games on television, absorbing everything he could about the sport. His idols were the greatest players like Luis Figo, who would later become his teammate, and others who had already achieved legendary status. But for young Cristiano Ronaldo, the dream wasn't just to watch the stars, it was to be one of them. At the age of just 8, Ronaldo joined Madeira, a local youth team, which was where his raw talent began to shine. Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't just another player on the team, he was the standout, the one who made the difference. The coaches at Madeira noticed his extraordinary ability to control the ball and his uncanny knack for scoring goals, even at such a young age. But what really set Cristiano apart was his tireless work ethic. Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't just playing for fun, he was playing with purpose, with a goal in mind which made him unstoppable. By the age of 11, Cristiano Ronaldo's performances were so impressive that he was scouted by one of Madeira's biggest clubs, CD Nacional. For many, this was a dream come true. But for Cristiano Ronaldo, this was only the beginning. Cristiano Ronaldo had already set his sights higher. It wasn't enough to play for Nacional. Cristiano was destined for something greater. But it wasn't just Cristiano's natural ability that set him apart. His mind was already focused on something greater. His family could see it. His mother, Dolores, remembers his unwavering commitment, even when others doubted him. The fire inside Cristiano Ronaldo was unlike any other, because he wasn't just playing to be good, he was playing to be the best. At the age of 12, Cristiano's life took a dramatic turn. In a decision that would change his life forever, he left his home and family behind to pursue his dream in Lisbon. It wasn't just the distance that was difficult, it was the sacrifice. A young boy, far away from the familiar comforts of his family, in a new city, surrounded by strangers. But young Cristiano's determination was unshakable. Cristiano Ronaldo's arrival in Lisbon was nothing short of a shock for the young boy. He was thrust into an environment where everyone around him was talented, driven, and hungry for success. It was a challenge unlike anything Cristiano had faced before, but Cristiano was no stranger to adversity. At Sporting CP's academy, Cristiano quickly realized that it wasn't just his talent that would take him to the top, but his mental toughness, his refusal to back down, even when faced with doubt. In the heart of Lisbon, a young Cristiano Ronaldo was no longer just a boy with dreams. He was a rising force, a raw talent eager to carve his name into the wall of history. Yet, in the silence of the night, as he trained alone on a cold and empty pitch, something deeper than just talent drove him. It was a hunger for greatness, a thirst to prove not only to the world but to himself that he was meant for more. More than his humble beginnings, more than the doubts that surrounded him. The journey was no longer about survival, it was about dominance. When Cristiano Ronaldo first set foot in Lisbon, it was a world away from the narrow streets of Madeira. The intensity of competition at Sporting CP's academy was unlike anything he had ever faced. But Ronaldo was no stranger to adversity. He was a boy with a singular focus of becoming the best. The players around him were older, more experienced, and just as hungry, but yet Ronaldo was undeterred. Every day he competed with everything he had. It was at the age of 17, just a year after arriving in Lisbon, that Ronaldo's big break came. A friendly match between Sporting CP and Manchester United in 2003, a match that would change everything. The young boy, barely out of his teens, was about to step into a world that would forever alter the course of his life. For many, it was just another friendly match. But for Ronaldo, it was his moment to shine. He knew this was his opportunity to showcase the raw talent, the skills that he had honed in solitude on the streets of Madeira, the skills that could put him on the map. His mind was clear and he was playing for his future. The world was watching, and Cristiano Ronaldo delivered. His dazzling footwork and lightning-fast pace were impossible to ignore. But it wasn't just his skills that caught the eye of Manchester United's manager, Sir Alex Ferguson, it was his mentality. He wasn't afraid of the challenge. He wasn't intimidated by the moment. For the first time, the footballing world began to see what Cristiano Ronaldo was truly capable of. Immediately after the match, Sir Alex Ferguson was vocal about his admiration for Ronaldo's talent. "He's got everything," Ferguson said. "A world-class player in the making." And in that moment, the seeds were sown. The young boy from Madeira was no longer just a potential, he was a certainty. The following weeks were a whirlwind. Manchester United acted swiftly, securing the signature of the young prodigy for a transfer fee of £12.24 million at the time, one of the most expensive transfers ever for a teenager. And Cristiano's dream had come true. He was going to the Premier League, the world's most watched league, where stars were born and legends were made. But with that move came a new set of pressures, greater than anything he had faced before. In Manchester, Cristiano was faced with an entirely new challenge. The pressure was immense. He wasn't just another player. He was the next big thing, the player that would take Manchester United back to the pinnacle of European football. And every day, he was reminded of that. The media, the fans, even his own teammates, they all had high expectations on him. The Premier League was unlike anything Cristiano Ronaldo had experienced. The defenders were ruthless, the competition fierce, and the intensity unmatched. Early on, Ronaldo struggled. He was criticized for being too flashy, for not yet delivering on the promise everyone saw in him. Yet, he wasn't deterred. Every harsh tackle, every defeat only made him more determined to prove that he belonged. And then, he did it. Cristiano Ronaldo's first goal for Manchester United, a moment that was as much about his arrival as it was about his future. In that split second, everything clicked. The boy from Madeira was no longer a newcomer. He had announced himself as a true contender. From that moment, the world saw the beginning of something extraordinary. Ronaldo's progress was swift. He learned, adapted, and grew at a rate that left fans and pundits alike in awe. His transformation from a flashy winger to one of the most feared players in the world. In 2007, Cristiano Ronaldo is no longer the young prodigy with promise. He is a force. A force that dominates the English Premier League, a force that has the world's attention. But this was the moment that would test him the most. Could he handle the weight of expectations? Could he rise above the pressure, the hype, the intense scrutiny? What happens when talent and determination collide at the highest level of world football? Keep following and you will find out. As the 2007 to 2008 season unfolds, Cristiano Ronaldo's brilliance is undeniable. The goals come thick and fast. A header here, a free kick there, and an unforgettable solo run against Fulham that leaves defenders and goalkeepers alike helpless. He is a man possessed hungry for victory, for success, for greatness. The world is watching in awe as this young Portuguese forward seems unstoppable. 2008 marks the pinnacle of Cristiano's rise, the Ballon d'Or. He becomes the world's best player, the crowning moment of his meteoric ascent. His name is etched alongside the immortals of the game. But while this moment is euphoric, it's also bittersweet. Because in the world of elite football, greatness is fleeting. To remain at the top, you must evolve, reinvent, and constantly push the boundaries of your own limits. It was mentioned to the press by Sir Alex Ferguson that, when Cristiano first arrived, he was raw, a diamond in the rough. But by 2008, he was not just the best player in the world, he was our leader. He had become the face of Manchester United, the symbol of the club's resurgence. His dedication, his work ethic, his willingness to sacrifice everything for success. He was everything we needed and more. Behind the glamour, the goals, and the trophies, Ronaldo's life is a constant battle. Every day is about becoming better, stronger, faster. He doesn't just train for the game, he trains for greatness. The gym, the pitch, the endless hours of practice. This is his life. A life many dream of, but few can truly live. The 2008 Champions League final is one of the greatest nights in European football. Ronaldo scores a towering header, a goal that seems to solidify his place in history. But just when it seems like his moment has arrived, disaster strikes. Chelsea equalizes. And then, it all comes down to a penalty shootout. A moment of extreme pressure, where every player knows that the weight of history hangs in the balance. In that final, Ronaldo shows his mettle. Though he doesn't take the final penalty, he has already delivered when it mattered most. Manchester United are crowned European champions once more. And as the confetti falls at Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow, Cristiano Ronaldo stands taller than ever, now recognized as one of the best in the world. With his Champions League triumph, the fame and the fortune follow. Ronaldo is no longer just a footballer, he is a global icon. Endorsement deals with Nike, Coca-Cola, and countless other brands push him into the limelight in ways few players ever experience. His image is everywhere from the streets of Lisbon to the skyscrapers of New York. But as the adulation grows, so too does the pressure. The expectations on Ronaldo are unlike anything he's ever faced before. In 2009, Ronaldo makes the decision that will change his career forever. He leaves Manchester United, the club that helped him rise to the top, and joins Real Madrid for a record-breaking transfer fee of €94 million. It is a move that sends shockwaves through the footballing world. No longer just a player in a competitive league, Ronaldo is now stepping into the most pressure-packed environment imaginable, the hallowed turf of the Santiago Bernabéu. At Real Madrid, Ronaldo faces a new challenge, not just to succeed, but to define himself as the king of a club with a rich history and intense demands. The Spanish media hounds him, the fans expect nothing less than perfection, and his own teammates look to him for leadership. It is a pressure unlike anything he's ever encountered before. Yet, as always, Ronaldo thrives. He delivers goals, assists, and performances that has made him one of the most adored players in the world. In his very first El Clasico against Barcelona, Ronaldo is thrust into the ultimate showdown. He's not just playing for the 3 points, he's playing for his legacy. The match is more than just a game, it's a battle between two of the greatest players the world has ever seen, Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. In that moment, the world's gaze shifts to Spain, and the rivalry that will define a generation begins. It was a rivalry that would define a generation. Two men, two clubs, two legends. On one side, Cristiano Ronaldo strong, determined, and unyielding, a symbol of power and precision. On the other hand, Lionel Messi, a genius of the game, effortlessly graceful, a magician with the ball at his feet. For over a decade, their battles on the pitch would captivate the world, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible in football. In 2009, as Cristiano Ronaldo donned the white jersey of Real Madrid, a new era began in Spanish football. But at the same time, across the Catalan hills, Lionel Messi was already in the process of becoming a phenomenon. While Ronaldo was adjusting to live in Madrid, Messi had already begun to dominate the footballing world, his genius becoming impossible to ignore. The rivalry was born out of timing two footballing prodigies, emerging at the same moment, at the same time, and destined to compete in the same league. Their first few encounters were a battle of contrasts. Messi, the diminutive magician, weaving through defenders with a grace that seemed otherworldly, making football look like a dance. Cristiano Ronaldo, the physical specimen, using his pace, power, and aerial dominance to impose himself on the game. Each El Clasico was not just a battle for points, it was a battle for supremacy, a battle to determine who would ultimately claim the title of the world's greatest player. In every match, Ronaldo and Messi faced a unique pressure. For Messi, it was the weight of being the face of Barcelona, the team's heartbeat, the player who defined their success. For Ronaldo, it was the challenge of carrying the legacy of Real Madrid, a club that demanded greatness with every step he took. The rivalry was more than just about goals and assists, it was about who would become the definitive figure in the world's greatest league. The media, of course, fanned the flames. "Who is better?" they asked again and again. Each question a subtle jab, each comparison another weight placed upon their shoulders. Ronaldo, ever the competitor, would often downplay the rivalry in public, but in his heart, he knew. This was a battle. Not just for titles, but for history. For his place among the all-time greats. Over the years, Ronaldo and Messi would meet on the grandest stage of all El Clasico. And with each passing encounter, the stakes grew higher. Ronaldo, with his precision, power, and leadership, would score unforgettable goals, like his stunning free kick against Barcelona in 2017. His confidence was contagious, and with every goal, he silenced any lingering doubts about his place in the rivalry. But for Cristiano, the rivalry was never just about the trophies. It was about proving something deeper to himself. Messi's brilliance was undeniable, but Ronaldo's journey was one of overcoming the impossible. He had come from the streets of Madeira, from a place where dreams seemed distant, and had risen to challenge the greatest. With every battle against Messi, it wasn't just about winning, it was about validating his own narrative, his own path. And then, there was Messi. His brilliance was subtle yet devastating. With a flick of the foot, a feint here, a quick pass there, Messi left defenders helpless. The comparisons between him and Ronaldo were inevitable, but it was Messi's magic that seemed to come so naturally, so effortlessly. For Messi, the game was about artistry, about creating beauty in a world obsessed with speed and strength. But with that came its own pressures. Could Messi maintain his quiet dominance as Ronaldo's fire burned brighter? As the years went by, Ronaldo and Messi continued to break records. Ronaldo's athleticism and his ability to adapt to different leagues, Manchester United, Real Madrid, and later Juventus, only solidified his status as a global icon. Messi, on the other hand, remained the lifeblood of Barcelona, his artistry and consistency creating an entirely different legacy. In 2018, another new chapter of Cristiano Ronaldo began. His decision to leave Real Madrid and join Juventus was a seismic shift in the rivalry. The landscape of European football changed once again. While club success had already cemented Ronaldo's place in football history, his most emotional and unforgettable achievement came in 2016, a year that would forever change the trajectory of his international legacy. After years of near misses, heartbreaks, and close calls, Portugal finally reached the pinnacle of European football. And it was Cristiano Ronaldo, leading his country with fire in his eyes, who helped bring home the coveted UEFA Euro 2016 trophy. But what made this victory so extraordinary? It wasn't just the final score. It wasn't just the incredible defensive effort or the heroics of Eder, who scored the winning goal. It was about Ronaldo's leadership. It was about his willpower. A few minutes into the final, an injury threatened to derail Portugal's dreams. Ronaldo was forced off the pitch. Yet, even with tears in his eyes and his body broken, he didn't retreat into the shadows. He became the team's emotional engine. From the sidelines, he screamed, he motivated, and he rallied his teammates. Ronaldo's battle wasn't just physical, it was mental. He knew how much this moment meant, not just for him, but for an entire nation that had waited decades for this. And when the final whistle blew, and Portugal emerged victorious, Ronaldo's pain turned into pure joy. For a brief moment, the world watched as the boy from Madeira stood at the summit of European football, his dream realized, his critics silenced. For Ronaldo, Euro 2016 wasn't just a victory. It was validation. It was confirmation of everything he had worked for, all the sacrifices he had made. His journey from a skinny teenager in Madeira to becoming the heart and soul of Portugal's football team, which had come full circle. But Ronaldo's journey on the international stage didn't end with one trophy. No, his story was far from over. In 2019, his commitment to Portugal once again shone through as he led them to another historic triumph, the UEFA Nations League. The Nations League wasn't just another tournament, it was a testament to Portugal's growth under Ronaldo's leadership. And once again, Ronaldo's genius, his undying thirst for glory, shone through. He scored decisive goals, delivered clutch performances, and showed the world that his greatness wasn't confined to individual accolades. He was now, undeniably, a leader of men. Off the pitch, the relationship between Ronaldo and his teammates had evolved. He was no longer just the guy who scored the goals. He was the motivator, the mentor, the captain. His leadership was now defined not just by words but by actions, by setting an example in every match and every training session. But let's not forget the struggles that came before the glory. 4 years, Ronaldo had been defined by near misses on the international stage, heartbreaking losses, moments that would have crushed lesser men. The 2004 Euro final, the 2012 Euro semi-finals, the World Cup disappointments, each failure stung, each defeat pushed him to his limits. Yet, he never wavered. He carried the weight of Portugal's expectations, knowing the pressure to succeed was immense. Every defeat only made Ronaldo hungrier, more determined to prove that he wasn't just a club footballing legend, but a titan on the international stage. And it was that drive, that insatiable hunger that would eventually propel him to glory. And when the 2018 World Cup arrived, Ronaldo's moment came once again. A pulsating match against Spain, Portugal needed a hero, and once again, Ronaldo answered the call. With just minutes remaining, he stepped up for a free kick. The stadium held its breath. The ball soared past the Spanish wall and into the net, securing a legendary hat-trick and sending the world into a frenzy. It wasn't just a goal, it was a statement. A reminder to the world that Cristiano Ronaldo was still, and always would be, one of the most lethal forwards the game had ever seen. With every game, every record he shattered, Ronaldo continued to write his own legend. He became the first European player to score over 100 international goals, a milestone that further cemented his place as one of football's all-time greats. And yet, he wasn't done. Ronaldo didn't just change the course of Portugal's history, he changed the very definition of greatness. His relentless pursuit of victory and his ability to inspire those around him turned every match into a potential moment of magic. And for Portugal, he became something more than just a player. He became a national hero, an icon. As Ronaldo's international career continues to unfold, the world watches, not just for the goals he scores, but for the heart and soul he pours into every moment. In every match he plays for Portugal, it's clear his legacy, his passion, his commitment will inspire generations to come. For Portugal, Cristiano Ronaldo is not just a player. He is the embodiment of their dreams, their hopes, and their footballing soul. In the summer of 2018, when Cristiano Ronaldo left Real Madrid, the football world was left in awe, as the global icon made a bold move, leaving Real Madrid, where he had already cemented his legacy, for Juventus, Italy's most successful club. Juventus, a club with a storied history and an enviable record in Serie A, was now about to take on a new chapter, one that would see them challenge for European supremacy, with Ronaldo leading the way. For Juventus, the challenge was more than just integrating a star player into their ranks. Serie A was a notoriously defensive league, with teams focusing on organization and discipline rather than raw attacking flair. But Ronaldo wasn't just any player. He was a game-changer. The question wasn't whether he could adapt, but how quickly the league would adjust to him. Ronaldo wasted no time in showcasing his lethal finishing ability, scoring on his Serie A debut. But this was only the beginning. Despite being 33 years old, Ronaldo's physical prowess seemed to defy time, as he adapted his game to suit the tactical demands of Serie A. Juventus had always prided itself on defensive strength. The catenaccio, Italy's traditional approach to football, focused on stifling opposition attacks, making it difficult for opponents to break through. But Ronaldo, with his intelligence, movement, and ability to exploit the smallest of spaces, quickly made a mockery of Italy's defensive systems. And it wasn't just about domestic glory. Ronaldo's arrival instantly boosted Juventus' ambitions in Europe. His Champions League pedigree was undeniable, and his experience was vital for the club's pursuit of the one trophy that had eluded them for over 2 decades. But for all the glitz and glamour of his arrival, the weight of expectation began to take its toll. Juventus fans, hungry for another Champions League, were already looking to Ronaldo to deliver. And while he continued to score, the challenges mounted. Though Ronaldo dazzled with his goals, his powerful headers, instinctive finishes, and ability to perform in clutch moments, the Champions League trophy proved elusive. Year after year, Juventus made progress, but they couldn't seem to push past the quarterfinals. The 2019 quarterfinals were a testament to Ronaldo's brilliance. A hat-trick against Atletico Madrid almost single-handedly turned Cristiano Ronaldo, a name that transcends football, a symbol of excellence, and a face synonymous with success. From the football pitch to the world stage, his journey is one of the transformation, one that defied not only the limitations of sport, but the boundaries of what it means to be a global icon. On social media, Ronaldo reigns supreme. With over 500 million followers across his platforms, he's one of the most followed individuals on Earth. Each post, each story, each tweet creates waves in the digital world. But what makes Ronaldo truly remarkable is his relentless work ethic, his commitment to maintaining peak performance even as the years pass. While many of his peers slow down, Ronaldo reinvents himself, pushing the boundaries of athletic longevity. Ronaldo's body isn't just a product of natural talent, it's the result of years of disciplined work. A tailored fitness regimen, strict diets, and recovery methods that would rival the most elite athletes in any sport. His commitment to his body is the cornerstone of his legacy. Every time Ronaldo steps onto the pitch, it's an exhibition of power, precision, and finesse. But his physical prowess is matched by his mental fortitude. His relentless drive is fueled by an unyielding desire to be the best. Ronaldo's secret? It's his obsession with perfection. Whether it's free kicks, headers, or finishes from any angle, he trains relentlessly. While others rest, Ronaldo works. This commitment is the difference between greatness and legend. Recovery is as crucial as the training itself. Ronaldo's ability to bounce back from the demands of football comes from cutting-edge recovery techniques, a network of personal trainers, physiotherapists, and the kind of investment in his body that ensures longevity. But beyond the muscles, the fame, and the trophies, Ronaldo remains grounded by his family. His strength off the pitch lies in the moments he shares with his loved ones. His partner, his children, and his siblings, Ronaldo finds balance, support, and a sense of home. Family isn't just a priority for Ronaldo, it's a part of his legacy. He's teaching his children the values that made him the player he is today: discipline, hard work, and a never-satisfied hunger for more. What sets Ronaldo apart is his ability to remain human in a world that often objectifies its heroes. Whether in the streets of Lisbon or at the glitzy Met Gala, He never forgets where he came from, always taking the time to connect with his fans. Ronaldo isn't just a product of his sport, he's become a master at turning every phase of his life into a brand. From his famous CR7 logo to his partnerships with global giants like Nike, his marketability is unmatched. Ronaldo knows the power of image, and he's crafted his persona with precision. With his CR7 line, Ronaldo ventured into the world of fashion and lifestyle. His influence extends beyond football apparel, with luxury products ranging from fragrances to his own brand of underwear. His empire has made him one of the wealthiest athletes in the world. His ventures aren't just corporate, they're personal. Ronaldo's hotels, restaurants, and other investments reflect his own values: excellence, service, and quality. He's not just building a business, but a legacy that echoes his passion for success. And it's not all about money. Ronaldo's heart lies in giving back. His CR7 Foundation has become a beacon of hope for children in need, supporting causes related to education, health, and child welfare. He uses his platform to create real change, investing in the future of those who need it the most. In a world where fame can fade, Ronaldo's legacy will be remembered not just for the goals he scored, but for the lives he touched. His influence extends beyond the pitch, in the hearts of millions who see him not just as an athlete, but as a role model. Cristiano Ronaldo didn't just play football, he reshaped the game. He broke records, set new standards, and created a template for future generations to follow. But his true power lies in his ability to inspire, motivate, and transform lives, proving that greatness is not just about what you do, but who you become. And now, as the final chapters of his career unfold, Cristiano Ronaldo stands at a crossroads. A journey that began in the small streets of Madeira, with a boy daring to dream, has led to the grandest stages of football. But his story isn't just about goals scored or trophies won, it's about something far more powerful. It's a story of a relentless pursuit of greatness, of pushing beyond limits that others thought were unbreakable. It's a story of sacrifice, perseverance, and an unyielding belief that with enough drive, anything is possible. Over the years, he has rewritten the history books, one record at a time. 5 Ballon d'Ors, multiple Champions League titles, hundreds of goals for club and country. Yet, despite the incredible heights he's reached, Ronaldo has never been satisfied. Because for Ronaldo, it's never been about the destination. It's always been about the journey. About pushing himself, his body, his mind, his very soul to become more than he was yesterday. And more than any trophy or accolade, is what makes him truly unstoppable. At 38, his body may have aged, but his mind? His spirit? It's as sharp as it's ever been. And when he steps onto the pitch, the fire inside him still burns just as brightly as it did when he was that hungry teenager in Madeira, dreaming of greatness. But even more than the records, more than the goals, there's the mark he's left on the world. Ronaldo's legacy isn't confined to the stadiums he's filled, or the headlines he's made. It's in the hearts of millions who look up to him, not just for his footballing brilliance, but for the way he's inspired them to push beyond their limits. He's become the symbol of perseverance, of never settling, of fighting through adversity, even when the odds seem insurmountable. Whether it's through his record-breaking goals, his relentless work ethic, or his unwavering belief in himself, Ronaldo's story has become a blueprint for greatness. Behind every great man is a support system that pushes him forward. For Ronaldo, family has been his anchor. His mother, his children, his closest friends, all have played an integral role in shaping the man we know today. As he looks out over the pitch, the silence of the stadium echoes with a different kind of power. It's a silence that speaks of his legacy. A silence that says, "You did it." A silence that resonates with the millions whose lives have been touched by his journey. Cristiano Ronaldo's story is one of ambition, determination, and heart. A boy who defied the odds to become not just a footballer, but a global icon. And as the final whistle blows on his career, it's clear, his legacy will last far longer than the final match he plays. Because greatness doesn't just live in the records. It lives in the impact you leave behind. And Cristiano Ronaldo has created an impact that will echo for generations. His legacy, unstoppable and unshakable, is one that will inspire not just footballers, but anyone who dares to dream, to fight, and to believe. Cristiano Ronaldo, the unstoppable force, the living legend. His journey may be coming to an end in his current team Al Nassr, a club in Saudi Arabia, but his impact will live on forever. This is the story of a man who refused to be defined by anything other than his own drive. A man who turned his dreams into a legacy, one that will inspire the world long after the game is over. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button for more interesting videos like this.